What's up, YouTube? Here we are already at episode 3, looking back at Mist raising all of her amazing Joeys. What a mother she was. And you know, if we can't save the cutest animal in the world, what is going to happen? Watch along here for lots of climbing, eating, Joey teaching, fantastic Mist things. Koala Gardens is a wildlife sanctuary on private land. Subscribing helps me bring koalas to you, and liking this video helps me bring them to the whole world. I'm lucky enough to live in the koala's backyard with a wild and free colony on the far north coast of New South Wales in Australia. Check out my Patreon options and come over and chat on my public Discord server. You'll find links for these and lots more in the description below. I'm Katrina and I'm passionate about saving koalas. Make sure you watch right through to the end of the video too, because there's a bonus at the end and there's lots of things that you don't want to miss. I'm sure that you know that koalas are marsupials, and that means that they give birth to really early unformed pink young that climb into their pouch and drink milk. And you can see that Mist in this part has got a large Joey in pouch and it's wriggling around, but it makes her look like she's pregnant. However, of course she's not pregnant, she's a nursing mum. When Joey first comes out of the pouch, they spend most of their time on mum's lap, and they will actually hold on and ride along on mum's belly. Does not look very comfortable, and let me tell you, right from this point, that little Joey is developing so many really important muscles and skills, and Mist is taking no notice of this Joey, getting her meal. But what she's actually doing is teaching Joey really important things, because koalas are arboreal. That means they live in the tops of the trees. So Mist knows that Joey has to learn how to hold on and live in the treetops right from the very start, or Joey is never going to make it in the wild. You can see Joey peeking over her shoulder now, going, that sounds like something I might like to join in with. In this video, we're going to spend a bit of time just observing how many things this Joey is learning while Mist is having her meal in a forest red gum. You can see small gum nuts in the background behind Mist. That's the forest red gum nuts. They're really tiny. Different eucalypts have different sized flowers and therefore different sized gum nuts. At the beginning of this feeding session, the Joey was looking a little bit pensive about the whole thing, but now that Mist is having a little bit of a break between snacks, you can see that Joey is smelling everything, looking around, and these are all learning experiences for Joey. Just look at the size of Mist's arms there. She is such a big, strong girl. And now let's get a little bit of perspective and just look at where Mist and this Joey are in a tree, because what you can see is that if Joey or Mist were to fall, they would not survive it. So this is why it's so critical that koala mums do not coddle their young, but actually allow them to be sort of pulled around and to have to work things out right from a tiny young age. When they're resting and sleeping, koala mums definitely put their arms around Joey and hold on to them tight, because mum needs to be able to go to sleep. And we know that adult koalas are able to sort of wedge themselves into spots in the tree, balance themselves, hold on with their claws, whatever it is, and go into a deep sleep without falling out of the tree. But until Mum knows that Joey has that capability, she will sleep with Joey in her lap and wrap Joey up and do that. It's the difference between being at home and putting your child safely into bed in a safe bedroom and going to the park and letting your child run around and play on equipment and get exercise and learn all kinds of physical skills. I just love in this spot how Mist has positioned herself so that she's got lots of food in front of her face, but she's also got this wonderful lot of food hanging over the back of her shoulder right in Joey's face so that Joey can hold on and be developing those strong arm muscles and have a really good meal at the same time. Of course, Joey still has to work for this meal, but I remember the day watching this happen and just being awestruck by how well Mist had set this meal up. Just above Joey's head there, you can actually see some flowers on that gum tree, and in front of Mist's face you can see some flowers open, and you can see the little flower buds that are a bit like a nice fruit, and the koalas will eat those little flower buds. They don't usually eat the flowers once they're open, and they don't tend to eat the gum nuts. In this tree at the moment there's actually quite a nice mix of old gum nuts from last year's flowering, flowers that are open and the buds that are waiting to open. This video was taken during the winter and forest red gums flower in the winter, which is fantastic because it means that for lots of other wildlife there's always a good food source from those fruit and flowers during the winter time when it's cold. Mist is so confident in both herself and the ability of her Joey that she appears to be taking no notice of Joey at all and just getting stuck into having a good meal for herself. But any of us that have had anything to do with young children or young animals would know that she's actually acutely aware of what's going on with Joey. But she is confident enough to know that Joey is working the situation out. It's certainly hard work though, being a koala mum, because you saw how high up in the tree they are. And while Miss makes sure she gets enough calories for her meal, because remember she's still feeding milk to this Joey, Joey wriggles around and does a bit of playing, and Joey's probably sort of thinking, oh, maybe it's time to get back into Mum's pouch and have a drink of milk. But just look at the body posture of this Joey and how hilarious it is. The way Joey is just nonchalantly holding on to Mum and looking around. It's kind of like, oh, the wonderful innocence of youth. I don't think there's many things more special than being able to look directly into the face of a koala Joey. Koala Joey's attempting to eat with Mum really shows how undeveloped their fine motor coordination skills are. And of course, it's also a matter of they need to have enough power in their jaws and their teeth to be able to take a good bite, because eucalyptus leaves are really tough. If you've ever picked up a eucalyptus leaf and tried to rip it with your fingers, you would know just how tough it is as a leaf. It's not like something that we eat, like a herb. They are really tough leaves. So for Joey to learn to eat all the while up in the treetops is actually quite a thing. I still find myself just laughing all of the time watching this piece of footage, because the way that Joey is just laying back on the branch eating gets me every single time. And time finally to climb back up onto Mum's back. You can see it's quite a bit of effort for Joey to get into those positions, and every single time builds more muscle as Joey develops. And Miss says, yeah, okay, I think we've both had enough. Can you imagine what it feels like for Miss, having Joey holding onto her face and her mouth like that with those little claws? Ugh. And of course, any leaf that looks okay on the way down is perfectly worth stopping for. And Joey just holds on, looks around, and let's pan back out again and just get that feeling for how high they are. Koala mums definitely need lots of great body condition, really strong arms, and the ability to eat as much as possible at every meal, so that they've got the calories they need to raise a Joey, because it takes a lot of energy to raise young up in the treetops. And we can see that Mist has all of those things. Look at the size of her. Beautiful body condition and a very, very strong girl. Watching her as a mother has been one of the most fantastic things on this property. I'm going to be doing video of other mothers and their Joeys on the property, and they are gorgeous too. But there's something about the size and strength of Miss that always really, really did it for me. Now, she's getting ready for a good climb, and we're going to see another one of those fantastic missed jumps, even with a Joey on board. Here we go. I love it. Let's watch it again in slow motion, so we can really see all of the power of those muscles in movement. Fantastic girl, Mist. You've got it all. Let's have a look now at the artwork that I created from one of the photos I took during that feeding session of Mist and Chrissy together back in 2018. I hope you like the range of effects that I put onto the image to create a bit of an arty-farty photo, and here it is, just looking at it full on. And we really love Mist and her Joeys, any koala and her Joey of course, but these trips down memory lane for me of processing again video that I took back in 2018 has been really enjoyable. So I hope that you're enjoying it as much as I am. And guess what? You've done it. You've made it through to the end of yet another video. So would you take a moment to write in the comments below, never enough Mist and Joeys. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you've subscribed and hit notifications so you never miss out on your KTV. Thanks for visiting Koala Gardens. Did you hit the like button? Now before you go, there's lots more great video to see, and make sure you've subscribed and hit that notification bell.